basically, this is just a container
Básicamente esto es un container, un contenedor
that contain a gas bottle.
que va a tener que contiene una botella de gas.
Normally, this model has been made for a bigger bottle.
Este modelo ha sido hecho para una botella más grande que no encontramos en Santiago.
We should be able to use it just by shortening this part. We're going to put a piece of steel inside of it, so to make it according to this size. So,
Vamos a modificarla un poco para poder usar la botella más chica.
so the bottle is slide in.
La botella se pone, se desliza hasta
We
el
have a
fondo.
plunger here that is going to be pushed by a little charge of a black powder.
Esta pieza va a ser empujada con una pequeña carga de pólvora negra.
We're going to have also a little flashback of black powder to ignite our gas.
Vamos a tener un flashback, un fósforo eléctrico de adelante.
So when we're going to fire this, the plunger is going to puncture a big hole into the gas bottle.
Cuando disparamos esto, la pieza metálica va a ser un hoyo grande en la botella de gas
And we're going to have a nice little fireball
y vamos a tener una preciosa bola de fuego,
without no spill of any liquid that we have.
sin líquidos.
Because any liquid you're going to have remaining of fluid that, especially with black powder, we're going to see the difference because when we're going to be in the field.
I don't get that.
You don't get that? Okay, we go again. So this, no spill, nothing, everything burns,
No quedan restos de nada en este
no
efecto.
remain. With gasoline, there is also a remain
Con gasolina siempre quedan restos,
because with the black powder, it's not powerful enough to,
porque la pólvora negra no es suficiente para encenderla por completo.
except if you use primer cord,
Excepto que usemos Primacord,
you might atomize everything.
ahí se va a atomizar todo.
We have another device we can use to break windows.
Tenemos otro artefacto que usamos para quebrar vidrios de ventana.
We can have a squib right on the glass itself,
Podemos poner el squib directo en el vidrio,
but there's also projection
pero eso produce proyecciones.
all the time in this method. With this method, there's no projection.
Con este método no hay proyecciones.
It's a little plunger.
Es un pequeño pistón.
So you have two types. A very small one is used with a concrete nail
Se
that
usa
goes
con
into
un
it.
clavo de concreto.
You have a little squib, which is a D60 half or one on this one, I don't remember.
Ponemos un pequeño squib de la serie B60.
The squib goes inside of the thing, the wire comes here.
El squib va adentro, el cable sale para afuera.
You screw it to a piece of Madeira where your window is here.
Lo atornillamos en un pedazo de madera, la ventana está allá.
And so you have another type which does exactly the same job.
Tenemos otro tipo que hace exactamente el mismo trabajo,
It's a plunger that is machined.
con otro tipo de pistón.
This is the same thing exactly.
At what distance from the window you need to be with those different devices?
About, I would say, a quarter of an inch.
Cuarto
that thick?
pulgada.
You cannot be too close
No puedes estar muy cerca
because your plunger won't have the room to do its job, so it has to take some velocity to.
Claro, si está muy cerca del vidrio no va a tener la capacidad de agarrar fuerza para impactar el pistón. Entonces necesita esa pequeña distancia.
And of course, when you're breaking tempered glass,
Cuando estás quebrando vidrio templado,
it is important
es importante
to hit the corner.
pegarle en un costado, en una esquina.
So the closest you're going to be on the corner,
Lo más cerca que estés de la esquina,
less energy you're going to need to break it.
menos energía necesitas para romperlo.
Hay que mantenerlo alejado un poco para que tenga la fuerza suficiente de pegar. Si yo repito la misma teoría acá abajo y lo mantengo separado, va a ser más eficiente así o así.
It's more efficient to put it down if the glass is firmly.
Technically, both ways would work, but the safest way is on the side.
La más segura en este sentido. Pero técnicamente las dos debieran servir igual. Pero él sugiere que técnicamente la mejor opción es esta.
You can put a squib, the little MD1.
Puedes poner un squib de las
You can
pequeñas.
stick it right on the edge underneath, and it's going to do the job. But
Si lo pones en el borde va a ser la misma pega que el...
I already seen misfire that way. So I always put it on the side. If you give me your board, I will stick the squib here.
Le pone el squib ahí.
On the side, like that.
Instead of
underneath.
En vez de debajo, claro.
Even if technically should work, you know.
Técnicamente debiera funcionar igual.
But more problems can occur that way.
Pero van a ocurrir más problemas, podrían ocurrir más problemas.
As I said, your window can crush your squib, and it can move sideways.
Puede salirse, puede apretarlo.
This is safer to do it that way. There's always a way that you can put a squib.
Siempre hay una forma en que puedas poner el squib.
Even if you have people that are close.
Incluso aunque haya gente cerca.
So you can put a little you can cut a little square of polycarbonate in front of it
Le puedes poner un pedacito de policarbonato para que proteja.
To protect again the projection of glass in the front. So, you know, I did shot with a stunned guy. You know, the guy was right next to the window, and the squib was up in the air and stuff like that. No problem at all. You need ear protection, and
protector de oídos.
That does the job. Because depending of the power of your black powder, this is another thing that we don't know, because the powder we're going to be using...
Dependiendo de la cantidad de pólvora negra que vamos a usar.
Because the powder we're using is a big grain.
Si la pólvora es de grano grande,
it's a slower burning.
Quema lenta.
So we might have to use a little bit more because of that.
Tendríamos que añadir un poco más de pólvora.
Because if I'm using 3F or 4F,
si usamos 3F o 4F,
this charge should be plentiful to blow the thing.
Esto debería estar lleno de pólvora para que
this is about a quarter ounce, which is
de onza.
About 4 grams.
Como 4 gramos.
No, 7 gramos.
7 gramos.
Es en pólvora lenta, pólvora rápida.
La 4F es la más rápida.
Esa cápsula, aparte de la cápsula...
It's gelatin. This is for veterinarian use.
Gelatina para uso veterinario.
If you want to do small charges, this is very good. This is a perfect 1 ounce of black powder.
Esa es una onza perfecta de pólvora negra.
So, you know, this is very...
¿Siguen las veterinarias?
Sí, es de uso veterinario.
And you've been playing, some of you have been playing with two different types of quick release, a very strong one and a very small one, which is this one is...
Diferente quick release, uno con gran potencia de carga y
this
otro
is
más
about
pequeño.
90 kilos of capacity.
90 kilo capacidad, and the other one?
They can be, this one is 2,500 pounds, which is about 1,250 kilos.
200?
Yeah, 1,200 kilos.
Una tonelada y poco, claro, una tonelada y 200.
So they can be triggered mechanically.
Puede ser disparado mecánicamente
or with a squib.
O con un squib.
Both of them.
Ambos.
¿Sí?
Sí, que pequeñito.
No lo conseguí en la misma fábrica. Ahí está eso.
Screwed up. Hold on. I don't see it. There. 3, 2, 1. In pyrotechnics, to make sure that our circuits are...
En pirotecnia, para estar seguro que los circuitos están
in order.
Correctamente.
Are we connected properly?
Conectados correctamente.
We got to know if we had a resistance into our circuits.
Tenemos que saber si hay resistencia en nuestro circuito.
All right. So the tool that has been invented for that is an ohm meter.
Lo que inventaron para eso es un ohmmetro.
Ohm meter that measure the resistance of a circuit.
Mide la resistencia del circuito.
And especially made for the blasters, this is called a galvanometer.
Y lo que está hecho especialmente para explosiones es un galvanómetro.
It sends a very light current into the circuit.
Pone una pequeñísima cantidad de corriente en el circuito.
Not enough to detonate our charge.
No suficiente para detonar nuestras cargas.
But enough to
pero suficiente para
make a measure
para hacer una medición de la energía.
Because the resistance of a circuit is measured in a ohm.
Porque la resistencia de un circuito es medida en ohms.
So
Ohms.
that does the job. This is specially made for the blaster.
Está hecho para explosiones.
Every unit, the length of a wire, the squib,
Cada unidad del largo del cable y los squibs
has a measure.
tiene una medida.
So when you take this measure with your tool,
Cuando ustedes tienen esa medida con esta herramienta,
you got to have the appropriate result.
van a tener los resultados apropiados.
This is very critical for the blaster who has several thousand of meters of wire.
Esto es muy crítico para las explosiones con cable a mucha distancia.
So they got to have the good reading at the end.
Necesitan una buena lectura a los extremos.
If not, it means that they have a problem in their circuit, they are cut somewhere.
Claro, si no tiene la lectura apropiada es porque está cortado el circuito en alguna parte.
So this is an analogic
Ohmmeter.
device.
Este es un sistema analógico.
It's not a digital. Some digital exist,
Algunos digitales existen
and I hate them.
y los detesto.
So this thing is, that's about $200. It's
Vale
very
alrededor de $200,
reliable, but it's a little bit big.
pero es un
If you
poquito grande.
If you carry this all the time with you. So we also have two types of other devices.
Tenemos otros dispositivos.
This one is going to tell you that you have a continuity,
Este les va a indicar que tienen continuidad,
but you don't know what is the resistance.
pero no van a saber la resistencia.
If you're testing just a squib like that on a table or a circuit that you can see,
Si están testeando un squib en una mesa o un circuito que ustedes ven,
that's plentiful.
ese está buenísimo.
But if we're going a multiple blast
Si tenemos múltiples explosiones
with multiple charge,
con múltiples cargas,
we're going to be using this.
vamos a usar este.
Here is made by a British company.
Esto está hecho por una compañía británica.
It has a scale
Tiene una escala
on the measurement from 0 to 25 ohm,
de 0 a 25 ohms,
from 26 to 50,
de 25 a 50,
and 51 to 200
de
ohms.
51 a 200.
It's a more
ohms.
precise
Es
device,
más preciso
and it can the battery can be replaced into it.
y la batería se puede reemplazar, se puede
I-
cambiar, no como en la otra.
I think that cost about $150, something like that.
Creo que vale alrededor de $150.
So to fire, I think we need a battery. This is a little battery pack
Este es un pequeño pack de baterías
made with two 12-volt batteries.
hechas con dos baterías de 12.
This cost about $20 each
Valen $20 cada una
in a little case.
en un pequeño case.
And this has been rigged to be able to work on different voltage.
Está hecho para trabajar en diferentes voltajes, en 12 o en 24.
See, 12 and 24. This is very handy. This battery delivers about 7.5 amperes.
7,5 amperes cada una.
This is enough.
Each one?
Each one. So this is plenty for, I would say, 95% of the situation we're going to meet into our business.
Es suficiente como para el 90% de las situaciones que
No le
necesitamos.
pasa nada al voltearlo.
No problem. Those are sealed batteries.
Son baterías
They can
selladas.
be. And I connected it on a button that I can use. Connected, always plug the right polarity,
Lo conectan en la polaridad correcta
and I can connect my squib on these two.
y puedo conectar los
Clip.
squib en estos dos clips.
Then when I'm ready to go, I go hot and kaboom on both sides. I want to attract your attention on something that I consider a very important point if you want to build push button.
Un punto muy importante por si quieren construir
You
botones.
see both of them, well, this one less, but this one you see the contact.
En
You
este
see
ellos pueden ver los contactos.
if the contact is made or not.
Pueden ver si el contacto está hecho o no.
If you have a totally black or you cannot see,
Si no pueden verlo o es negro
and you forget to guard your button,
y se olvidan de
to use this device
de
on your
medir con
push
el
button
galvanómetro
to make sure that it is not in short circuit.
para ver que no esté en cortocircuito.
So if you don't do that and it is shorted, as soon as you're going to do this,
Si ustedes no
boom,
chequean
that
eso y
goes.
está con corte, activan eso y
So
vuela todo.
I have a visual on that.
Ahí tengo visualmente,
That's
veo que está
good
desconectado.
practice. I always galv my button before I use it.
Siempre chequeo mi botón con el galvanómetro.
And then we're going to go into the firing device.
Y ahora vamos donde el artefacto, el dispositivo de
We're going
disparo.
to start with the state of the art.
Esto es lo
The
último.
mother of all the firing device.
La madre de todos los dispositivos de disparo.
The nail board.
El panel de, ¿cómo le llaman en español? Panel de clavos.
Nail is
Peineta.
a nail. Sí,
They
sí,
call
sí, sí.
peineta.
That's what it is. This is a basic circuit. The circuit is closed. The circuit is open.
El circuito está abierto y se cierra con este otro.
You have one of the wire that is connected to that is coming from your squib that is connected to this.
Los cables que vienen de los squibs se conectan acá,
Every individual circuit,
circuitos individuales.
and the other circuit, the other wire,
El otro cable,
is the common.
el común,
It's going to go to the other pole of your battery.
va al otro polo de la batería
This goes, let's say, on the positive pole
y
of the
este va al
battery.
polo positivo.
So when you're going to touch every nail,
Cuando tocas cada clavo,
you close the circuit
cierras el circuito.
and you think fire. You can go individually or you can go
Puede ir
sequence.
individualmente o secuenciado.
You can have, this is 8 circuit.
Aquí hay 8, pero puedes tener,
I already made some with 50 to 60 circuit.
he hecho circuitos de hasta 60 unidades.
And we also have at the other end
En el otro extremo de esto
some technology remote control.
tenemos controles remotos.
This device is at this end is 32 hits
Tiene 32
that
tiros.
is fired on a 24 volts.
Se dispara con 24 volts.
You have 2 batteries
Tiene
inside,
2 baterías adentro.
and on the other side you have a connector,
En el otro extremo tiene el conector.
and you have 48 output on this one.
48 pins.
48, 32 in and 48 at this end. So if we have external boxes, you can connect up to 48 hits.
Pueden conectar hasta 48 tiros con una caja externa.
So this device works with the transmitter.
Trabaja con un transmisor.
This is the receiver.
Este es el receptor.
As I'm quite close from what I'm blowing, I don't need too much power inside of the batteries.
No necesito mucho poder dentro de las baterías.
So this thing can be programmed to a certain point.
Esto puede ser programado hasta un cierto punto.
I can select where I want to start.
Puedo seleccionar dónde quiero empezar.
I can go manually.
Puedo ir manualmente.
I can go automatic
Puedo ir automático
and select from 1 hit to 20 hits a second.
y seleccionar entre un tiro entre 1 y 20 tiros por segundo.
Also, I can galv
Per second, you said?
per second, yes.
Sí, por segundo.
And also I can galv my circuit.
Y puedo chequear
At a distance.
puede usarse como galvanómetro también.
This thing has a 4.5 kilometer range,
4.5 kilómetros de rango de acción.
which is totally out of this world for
Que
us.
está claro, fuera de este planeta para nosotros.
I think this is dangerous. We're going to back up everybody 4 kilometers away. We're going to start talking about bullet hits. Bullet hit effects.
Vamos a comenzar a hablar de efectos de disparo.
95% of the squibs we are going to be using are of 3 types.
El 95% de los squibs que ustedes van a usar son de 3 tipos.
MD1,
El MD1,
D81,
thank you. El MD1, el D81,
and D82.
D82.
You can go a little bit smaller. You can use in certain situations D80 half.
Pueden ir con squibs más pequeños,
you have two types of hits, the one that we call dry,
Hay dos tipos de impacto, uno que le llamamos seco
and the one with blood.
y el otro con sangre.
The type of blood you're going to use depends on the formula you're going to find, whether you buy it already made, whether you do your own mixture.
El tipo de sangre que van a usar depende de dónde la compren, el tipo de fórmula, de cómo la hagan.
It has no importance so far
No
in
tiene-
what we are doing.
No tiene gran importancia lo que estamos haciendo.
So usually a small impact would be between 10 and 20 cc's of blood.
Pequeño impacto debe ser de 10. How much?
10, entre 10 et 20.
Entre 10 y 20 cc.
So for the purpose of our little demonstration, I'm going to go with 20
Para nuestra demostración voy a usar 20 cc.
because I think big. Ooh. You take the air out of it.
Le quitan el aire.
And you have something.
Necesitamos algo donde vamos a pegar la bolsa de sangre.
It has to act as a support
Tiene que actuar como soporte
and also as a protection
y
for the
también como una
one
protección para la persona
one who's going to get the hit.
que va a recibir el impacto.
Because depending on the technique you're going to use,
Porque dependiendo de la técnica que vayan a usar,
this could hit very hard.
puede golpear muy fuerte.
For that, we have protection plate.
Tenemos un plato de protección
You have different
de
sizes,
diferentes tamaños.
and these one are made with brass.
Son hechos de cobre, bronce, perdón.
I know that some people are making them with aluminum.
Hay gente que
Aluminum
lo está
cast.
haciendo de aluminio.
It might be a good affair. This is cheap, this is light,
Es más barato, más liviano,
but it could crack.
pero se puede romper.
As a support, you have a different type of thing that you can use. It could be a leather plate.
Pueden usar diversos tipos de soporte. Este es de
You have
cuero,
other. You can have another type of rubber,
algún otro tipo de goma.
or you can have this stuff. This is called sorbatan.
Sorbatan.
This thing is made for the top-of-the-line running shoes to absorb the impact of the run. Okay, at that point, we have two different techniques that we can use if we're doing a blood pack.
En este momento tenemos dos tipos de técnicas que podemos usar para los paquetes, los bolsas de sangre.
We can use a technique with the squib under the blood pack,
Vamos a usar una técnica con el squib debajo de la bolsa de sangre.
and also at that point, I want you to attract your attention on a thing. The wire is red.
El cordón es rojo, pongan atención en eso.
So when you strike the thing, let's say on a white shirt,
Cuando lo ponen contra una polera
and you have the remain of
blanca,
the little red device, this is going to show. So, for that purpose, you have a black
para que no se vea,
marker, and you're going to darken it.
lo tiñen negro.
And at that point also, we have two possibilities.
En este momento tenemos dos posibilidades.
Maybe we want the thing to spurt a lot.
Queremos que salte la sangre,
Maybe we want just to have a little hole with some blood and then the blood leaking.
o un pequeño agujero después que la sangre salga lentamente y se
That's what determines
chorree.
where we're going to put our blood pack. If I want it to leak, I'm going to put it right there.
Si queremos que chorree, lo ponemos de esta manera.
So we have this up.
Up. La bolsa está
So with
arriba.
gravity, we have our holes, and this is going to leak.
Por gravedad va a chorrear la sangre.
The MD1 or the DAT2. If you are using a DAT2,
Estamos usando el D82.
personally, I would never use that on an actor.
Personalmente no usaría nunca eso en un actor.
This is very powerful,
Es muy poderoso
and sometimes it could be a little picky,
y a veces puede ser, what's picky?
edgy, politically difficult to deal with.
Ah, difícil de manejar.
Or only if you have to go through a very thick fabric, you know, army jacket, very thick
A no ser que tengan una tela muy gruesa.
leather, and
o
so
cuero.
you're going to be using a D2. And even then, you're going to be weakening the spot you are dealing with.
Y a pesar de eso hay que debilitar la tela.
For that, you can be using a needle that you're going to puncture.
Para eso pueden pincharla con una aguja,
You can be sanding to...
lijarla.
not all the fabric react the same way.
No todas las telas reaccionan de la misma manera.
If you want to have a more interesting hole,
Si quieren tener un agujero más interesante,
this has to be discussed into pre-production meeting
tiene que ser discutido en la reunión de preproducción
with the costume department.
con el departamento de vestuario.
All natural fibers like cotton, wool,
Todas las fibras naturales como algodón y lana,
cotton?
algodón, cotton,
Sorry. Are going to react, are going to do a very interesting round hole.
van a hacer un agujero redondo muy interesante.
But most of the time, because of the economic concern, you're going to have synthetic fabric.
Pero por aspecto económico, lo más probable es que tengan ropa
And
sintética.
synthetic fabric doesn't make beautiful holes.
Y la ropa sintética no hace bonitos agujeros.
That works very good. It doesn't show on the other side.
No se ve por el otro lado,
It is very strong,
es muy firme
and it's going to help to limit the ripping of your fabric.
y va a ayudar a que el corte sea más preciso y no se extienda.
Okay, at that point, we are going to use a spray glue.
Y en este punto vamos a usar goma.
This is the first time I use this one. This is similar to a product 3M
Él usa-
77,
Super 77.
Super 77.
Claro, esa es la que él usa. Pero no encontramos el Super 77, pero está igual.
So let's say that we're going to do the technique of the blow. So we put it right on top of it.
Vamos a poner justo encima del squib.
So we're going to put layers
Vamos a poner capas para
on the sideways, on both sides.
para delimitar la zona por donde va a salir la sangre.
Okay. So we have the basic of the thing.
Tenemos el asunto básico hecho.
The second T-shirt with a hole cut into it.
La segunda técnica es que el dispositivo va a ir instalado en una polera que ya tiene un hoyo hecho.
Then we're going to put the shirt that we want to blow.
Después ponemos la polera que vamos a volar, a impactar
And then with a bit of a spray,
con un poco de spray.
we're going to glue the portion of the fabric that we want to blow.
Y vamos a pegar un trozo de la tela que queremos volar.
So we're going to have only this section that
So-
is going to be in contact.
Solo vamos a tener la sección
And
que va a
this
estar en
is going to
contacto.
be almost invisible.
Lo hace más invisible a la ropa. Y es más fácil de... O sea, podéis conectar todo antes y tener tu polera.
And I'm going to be gluing this part
Estoy pegando esta parte.
on it. This is more acceptable that way.
Esto es más
The-
aceptable de esta manera.
the fold are way less visible. Of course, we see the bump, but this is almost impossible to get rid of this.
Esto es imposible de ocultar completamente.
The camera is way less sensitive than your eyes. And as I say, if it is a problem, they change a little bit of the angle of the camera.
La cámara es tan sensible como los ojos, por lo tanto es cosa de cambiar un poco el ángulo de la cámara.
But it is impossible to have this disappear.
Pero es imposible que esto desaparezca.
We have our squib in the back of our blood pack.
Tenemos el squib en la parte, o sea, tenemos la bolsa de sangre sobre el squib.
That gives a kick.
Eso produce un impacto.
Because the blood pack is on top of the squib, there's a restriction for the squib.
Porque tiene una restricción el squib con la bolsa de sangre, por lo tanto el impacto contra el cuerpo es mayor.
And this is one of the property of the explosion. There's going to be a kickback.
Esa es una propiedad de los explosivos que te pegan, tienen un retroceso.
With the D80-1,
Con el D81
and the sorbatan, this is very, very
y el
acceptable.
plástico sorbatán,
Any actor, even those who are sensitive, could sustain that easily.
cualquier actor, incluso los más sensibles, pueden soportarlo.
Other part is we can have a dry it also without blood.
El otro tiro es el tiro seco sin sangre.
We can use the MD1 or also the D80-1.
Podemos usar el D80 o 1 y el MD1 y el
Yes.
MD1.
But the D81,
El D81,
all the series of the D80,
todas las series de los D80
they do a flash that you're going to see.
hacen un flash, una llamita, una
So
llama.
we're going to try to cut this flash.
So, vamos a tratar de cortar ese flash.
For that, we noticed that it was working quite well with, let's say, 2 pieces of tape.
Para eso funciona muy bien. Le ponemos 2 trozos de tape blanco.
Another possibility, if you have this, this little plastic sealer that we had, is you can,
Which one?
the little sealer.
Ah, y lo otro, usar el sellador del que hablé delante.
With the sealer, you can make little, very thin bag of water that are going to cut the flash.
Claro, con eso pueden hacer pequeñas bolsas of water.
Yes, water.
De agua que van a cortar el flash.
0.2 cc's of water.
0.2 cc de agua.
Just to stick it on our plate.
Le pegamos con cinta al plato.
And we should be able to stick it directly the plate without the support of the tape.
Vamos a tratar de pegarla directa sin la tela.
So that's going to be another one to blow.
Es otra polera más que vamos a volar.
We're going to be using this time MD1.
Vamos a usar el MD1 en esta ocasión.
So this is going to be my apparatus, like that. Yes. This is not a good idea.
No es buena idea para niños este programa. Con 2.
And we're going to do a second one. So on this shot, we're going to do a front and the back at the same time.
Vamos a hacer 2, uno impacto en el de frente y un impacto en la espalda, al mismo tiempo.
Firing hole in a 3, 2, 1. Oh,